So, Lynn, when I was driving in thinking about the podcast, I was remembering something, but I'm going to preface that with a question. Who can remember what year 571 was first published?
I'm remembering as I put a little timeline together for one of my presentations, and it seems like it was around the same time that the BRD was being developed. So it was like 1991, 2, somewhere in there.
Okay. And so, 586. So, for the listeners, 571 is damage mechanisms in the refining and petrochemical industries from API. The other document I mentioned is 586, which is NDE methods for finding damage in refining and petrochemical industries, which actually was only published a few years or a couple of years ago, at least the first edition, which is very limited. But the reason I bring it up, Lynn, is I was remembering when we first worked together back in what was that, 88, 89 at DNV.
Yeah.
And us going to do that damage mechanisms and NDE
Oh my
at the
gosh.
refinery up in Chicago. Remember that?
That 3-day dance we did. My gosh. That was with DNV. And so it would have been 1990, 1991. That was my first sort of industry consulting job with you. And I just watched you tap dance for 2 days, I think, 2 or 3 days. How long was that course? 2 days, day and a half?
Yeah. But anyway, I was just thinking about that. And
So was I right? What is the actual date of the first release of 571? Do you remember?
He doesn't even know. He doesn't even know.
Oh, you don't
I
know?
don't know. I don't know.
It was a
I
real
don't know.
question.
It was a question. It's an honest
It might be even later 90s, because the reason why I point that out in my presentation is to show the timeline of when all the API standards and codes were released, and to show that the RBI technology was built before 571, 579, 570, actually almost all of them. What's 571? Yeah, 570, 571. Is that what you asked me, 571 or 570?
571.
Oh, no.
The damage
571
mechanisms document. That
No,
was later.
571 was way later.
Yep. That's what I
571
thought.
was probably only 10 years ago, 10, 15 years ago, right?
Oh, I love you guys.
That's what I think.
Greg does that same thing. So the initial Google search says that the first edition was December of 2003.
Wow.
So we were years ago. Yeah.
When you were doing that back in the 90s.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
It's
When
like-
you said 571, I heard 570. 570.
Oh, sorry.
570 was in the 90s, but right, you're right. 571 was much later than that. And that's right. That sounds about right, because we started Equity in 2001.
Yeah.
And it was right after that we started pulling the group together to do the 570, put the 571 outline together. So yeah, that's about right.
The reason I mention that is I look at critical mass. I often think of critical mass for when different things happen. And that was evidently starting to build back then, I think, for 571 early on. We saw that need. But anyway, I was just thinking about that. And hey, Brandon, thanks for calling me out on not knowing when 571 was originally. I don't, but that's now that later date sounds more reasonable.
Yeah, but if you ask us when to guess, we'll guess, and then multiply that by 2, because time goes so much faster.
Yeah, I've learned that with hanging out with Greg here. He'll be like, yeah, I remember that. It was like 5-6 years ago we were doing this. And I'll go look it up, and it'll be like 1992. Man.
Well, let that be a lesson to you. Life goes by you that quickly.